Hey, this is Luke with another Android Guys podcast. I'm here with Scott.
Hi, Luke. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Good to see you.
Amazing. Good to see you. You have, I think, a device to talk about today.
This is another phone, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Take it away. What do you got?
This is the Xiaomi 12T.
Ah.
So this is a phone that is not going to be available to consumers in the U.S.
Okay.
So I'll put that out there right at the start.
Sure.
Because that, for some people, they'll listen to this whole thing and then maybe not hear
That whole part of it.
Qualifier.
Yeah.
But it's a global device.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can order it on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
And it will tell you that it's unlocked for T-Mobile customer, like their service providers.
Sure.
But it won't work with AT&T, Cricket, and those.
Gotcha.
So there's some qualification.
Uh-huh.
However, I will say that this is a pretty nice phone. This is a really good device. I like Xiaomi. I wish that they were available in the US.
Yeah.
I like the brand. I like the price point that they tend to put forth. A lot of times they bring more to the table for the same money than a lot of.
Yeah, they tend to pack their devices pretty feature full.
Yeah. And they're always more interesting to me.
Yeah.
I think I feel like they, not just them, but just international brands.
Mm-hmm.
They're always interesting to me because they seem to be companies who are a little bit more willing to try new things. Like,
yeah, they'll color outside the lines a little bit and try stuff that you don't normally see here because everybody's fighting the same market share.
Yeah. So, it's been a long time, but if you think back to phones that had more than one camera,
right?
Phones that had front-facing cameras, in-display fingerprints, fingerprint readers on the power button. A lot of these things that are kind of commonplace now.
Sure.
Kind of start with some of these other brands that are like, hey, we're going to do this.
Right.
And it's a little bit of a departure.
Right.
It's not quite that anymore, but I'm always fascinated just to see, like, on paper what the specs are and look at that and compare that to what else is available on the market and go, man, this thing's a good $200 less than company A's alternative.
Yep.
So the 12T is an Android 12 it's an Android 12 device, but it runs the MyUI 13.
Okay.
So that's the custom software experience.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit about that. That is probably the biggest departure from somebody who is used to having a phone that is kind of like, quote, stock Android.
Yeah.
Because it will kind of look at first like it's the same.
Yeah.
But then there is a whole other layer of customization.
Mm-hmm.
There are themes, icon packs, a whole array of different things to kind of make your phone feel unique in you.
Yeah.
And, in the earlier days of Android, you had to install a third-party launcher.
Yep.
Get your icon packs.
Right.
Or you had to find an app in the Play Store that might just make themed everything, themed widgets. So
right.
It would be like the weather one and then a clock one. And then you had to have icons that kind of matched, or font packs. So I do like that it puts that in there.
Yeah.
One of the other big things that I noticed right away is like swiping down like notifications.
Yeah.
From the top, if you swipe it down from the right, and I might be conflating these backwards here, but if you swipe down from the right side, it will pull up all of your like settings, your quick settings panel.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you swipe down more from the left side of the screen, it will pull up your notifications.
Okay.
So depending on where you are, and then you can also kind of customize like what do you want gestures to do, and so there's a lot of granular control, and I really like that.
Yeah.
But it's also, I don't want to say off-putting. It's just awkward to kind of get used to out of the box.
Yeah, I mean, if you're used to a stock Android experience, anytime there's a different UI, it's a little bit to get used to.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's modern. It doesn't feel like it's dated. Now, when you look at some of the, like when you go in there and say, I want to change my themes, there are paid and there are free.
Okay.
And then you can kind of look and see what's trending, and you can do like this one button install, kind of changes everything.
Oh.
So it just changes the wallpaper, the icons, the font, the colors, all those things at once. I like that, and I could see a lot of people who really like that.
Yeah.
But it's not for me because it just about everything that I see flies in the face of that clean aesthetic that I like. But all that said, it's an Android 12 phone at its core, so it's really current version. Mm-hmm. Of course, Android 13 is out now on Pixel phones.
Right.
So that is, for some people, they know the differences. They care about that. For a lot of people, they don't.
Sure.
I have a feeling that this episode is going to be geared towards a very specific kind of like unique person that might find this, say, hey, that's it for me. I'm going to check that out. Other than that, there may be a few things that you hear, they go, oh, that's, I'm out. I'm already out. So specification wise, this has a MediaTek Dimensity 8100 processor. So it's an octa-core at 2.85 gigahertz, and it's paired with 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay.
And you have your options of 128 or 256 storage. And then you're looking at a 6.7 inch display.
Yeah.
With 120 hertz refresh rate. You have a 5,000 milliamp battery.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your fingerprint display and face unlock.
Okay.
Triple camera, 108 megapixel, and then you've got an 8 ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro.
Okay.
All of that comes in at about $500.
Man, that's really, really compelling.
Yeah.
Very competitive.
Yeah.
I think, and like you said, the thing that's going to get people, you hear those specs, you hear that price point, and you go, ooh, I like that. If you don't have T-Mobile in the US, you're going to be SOL.
Yeah, and that's the rub there. So another couple things just to kind of think about. That battery, it's really fast. It's got 120 watt charging.
Ooh, nice.
Does not have wireless.
Okay.
So that's a distinction for some people that, I need to have that.
Sure.
And then just the fact that it's not sold in the US.
Right.
To kind of get your hands on it. It's a little bit of a buyer beware thing.
Yeah.
But by and large, I really like the phone. I like Xiaomi. I think that the 12T, if you think of it, like the 12 would be like your flagship.
Mm-hmm.
The 12T is going to be kind of like your refresh semi-annually.
Right. Okay.
So kind of like what OnePlus does with their phone.
Yeah, or kind of the Pixel A series, maybe.
Yeah, so the A would be more of like a junior flagship version.
Right.
Where I think for here, the T is kind of like a half step up.
Okay.
I think about like when the Galaxy S and then the Note later in the year was kind of like, hey, we could put a little faster processor.
Yeah.
We could put a bigger battery. So the T kind of does that.
Okay. Without
really bringing the price up.
Okay.
So
nice.
For that money, there's a lot of phone going on here.
Yeah.
It's super fast. It does come with a handful of apps pre-installed on there, but you can either disable them, uninstall them. Most of the stuff that was on the review unit were things that I think people are going to install anyways.
Sure.
So I think those are preloaded to kind of help bring down the cost of the experience. But I like the Xiaomi brand. I think I think through Amazon it was like $470 right now.
Yeah.
To get that. So if you're thinking spec wise or you're looking to change up phones, looking for something different, I would definitely recommend this to the right person, and you just have to kind of decide, are you that right person?
Sure.
So and it's available in a couple different colors. It's an interesting phone. I can't speak to long-term viability, of course, because we don't get to spend that much time with these before. It's kind of like, hey, what are your thoughts? What's the review?
Right.
And really, your first couple of weeks, you're deciding what apps are you going to install this game on here? Do I really play this? Do I, am I fully committing to this thing? So in my time with it, I saw absolutely nothing that said, oh, I see the lag. I see the stutter.
Right.
So, 120 hertz refresh rate looks really well, looks really good.
Yeah.
It's it's a surprising amount of phone for the money, with a couple of things in there that you're just kind of like, oh, so I get my fingerprint in display and the face unlock?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You don't always get both of those things.
Well, and I think the other thing, like you mentioned earlier, is the customization of their UI.
Mm-hmm.
So, if me and you are very similar, where we both like a pretty clean experience on our phone, but that person that really was like, I'm all about red and I want red everything, or I really like, the Louis Vuitton pattern, or
cursive fonts.
All kinds of
unique.
I want to make my phone me. I want to make a statement with it. That UI, they really have done a good job of making it feel like you're setting up the phone how you want it to be.
Yeah, and I almost downplayed it in my, because it's not for me.
Yeah.
But you don't get that too much in the US from manufacturers.
Yeah, you get a choice of colors, and obviously you can change your background to whatever you want and stuff like that. But I mean, they give you a little bit more, customization over like fingerprint unlock animations and,
lock
things
screen,
like that.
Display. Yeah. It's more than just like, do you want to display this? But like, what does the clock look like?
Right.
There's a lot of that little stuff where for some people like myself, I might say, it's a little too busy for me.
Sure.
Or I'm not a fan of that. I like to just keep it tidy.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are every reason, for me to say I don't want it. There are probably two people who are like, dude, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah, give that to me.
Yeah. So I would definitely say if this is interesting to you or sounds like something you'd be interested in checking out, Xiaomi is Xiaomi. Huge company.
Yeah.
It's not some upstart.
No.
But you just have to kind of know how to look for it and where to go.
Yeah.
And then just do a little bit of homework. I feel like if you kind of already, some people are going to already know whether or not it's for them.
Yeah.
Brand wise and device wise. But yeah, I would love to see more of them here in the United States.
Yeah.
So, yeah. For the money, I would definitely say check this out.
Sweet. Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.